Okay, I'm going to clear all the calculators. That's just for fairness reasons. So when you get your calculator, what is the first thing you're going to need to change? Mode needs to be in degrees. So just go ahead and make sure it's in degrees right now. It won't be. You'll need to change it because when you clear the memory, the default setting is radians. So everyone change it to degrees. Cool? If you forget, you'll remember though, because none of the answer choices will work. Okay. I didn't put any of them in radians. That would be like horribly mean. Okay. You'll catch it. So solving, we need to get x by itself. First thing you're going to do is divide over the 7. So 28 divided by 7 will give us 4. You get a calculator, but I hope you knew that one. To cancel out E, what is going to cancel out E? If you've all forgotten, I will tell you. Oh, good. Nice. We're going to ln both sides. That is what will cancel that out. So you get 8x equals ln of 4. And then your last step is divide by 8. So what you need to type in your calculator is ln4 divided by 8. Your ln button is on the left side. It's kind of next to the 4. So you're going to do ln of 4, close the parenthesis, and then divided by 8. 3 decimal points, but you can't mess it up because it's multiple choice. 0.173 is what I got. Can I get confirmation? Okay. I like confirmation on the button pushing because I'm a human and I can hit wrong buttons as well. All right, this is a logarithmic one. When you get stuck, what's the question? What is the base? The base number is 5. It is 5 to the 3rd power equals x minus 1. So your base is 5, your exponent equals the exponent, 5 to the 3rd. Now, I know you get a calculator, but do you know 5 to the 3rd? Good, 125. I'm not going to take the calculator from you, though. So if you forget or if you're just like, hey, I want to make sure that's right, you can type it in. And then plus 1, so 126. So if you get stuck, what's the base? You're going to be okay. All right, do you see this plus sign here? That means you're going to multiply the stuff that is inside the logarithm. So I would write it out blank like that. And we're just going to multiply the x times the x minus 6. So if you distribute the x through there, it'll be x squared minus 6x and then equals 4. And now this one is kind of like the one that we just did. What's the base? 2 to what power? 4, good. 2 to the 4th equals like everything else. I'm going to erase and fix that. If you're writing with pen, you can just scribble it out. So I don't have to rewrite the whole problem. What is 2 to the 4th power? 16. Good. And then this is evacuate. You're going to subtract over the 16 so that it all equals 0. And then factor it. So 16 would split how? Yeah, 8. I heard you guys saying it already. 8 and 2. And I even heard you say the negatives. -8, +2. So you get x equals 8, x equals -2. But you cannot log a negative number. So we're just going to keep the 8. It's multiple choice though. So remember that you will be able to narrow down the choices. It's helpful. Okay. All right. For a right triangle. So draw yourself a right triangle. C has to be the right angle. It doesn't really matter where A and B go. A is 32 degrees. Little c is 11. We want to find B. This is your SOHCAHTOA. So it's actually like not a pre-calc problem. It's really a geometry problem, but it's been several years, you know. Do you want sine, cosine, or tangent? This is your point of view. It'll be cosine. Here, let me talk you through it. Do you see how this is adjacent? This is hypotenuse. This is opposite, but we don't have that. So cosine of 32 equals b over 11. And then how are we going to type that? Good. You're going to multiply the 11 over. So 11 times cosine 32. You know, let me jump down to 51 and 52 because those are really similar to what we just did. That's really similar to this one. We'll save these two for last. All right. You are standing 200 meters away from a building. These word problems are actually ones that went really well. I feel like it gives you a picture to think about. If you have an imagination, you're going to be fine. So you're standing 200 meters away from a building. Your 200 is going to have to go down here. And then the building is 135 meters tall. So where does that go? Yeah, on the left, the vertical part. What is your angle of elevation? Well, tangent of x equals opposite over adjacent. So 135 over 200. Now, because you want the angle, how do you type that? Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Second tangent of that stuff. Is your calculator not being nice to you? Oh. Oh, okay. You can't mess that up on the test though, because it's multiple choice. So. All right, and then another one of these. This is your famous ladder leaning against a wall problem. Ladder is leaning against the side of the building. The ladder is 18 feet, so that's the hypotenuse. And it touches 13 feet up the side of the building, so that's the vertical part. What's your angle? Sine, because you have opposite and hypotenuse. So sine of x equals 13 over 18. And again, you're going to type with second. I should say inverse. That's like the appropriate vocabulary. Pep talk for these last two. These last two are your law of sines and law of cosines. Remember those gigantic formulas? Yeah. You're either going to remember them or you're going to guess. And I understand that that's the way that that is. That's why I only put two of them on there, not the whole test. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Only two questions. But we're going to work through them right now and just see how it goes. If you don't feel like memorizing them, it's on this too. I probably shouldn't have recorded that, but it will. All right, oblique. What does oblique mean? Not... It's not right. It's not a right triangle. So it doesn't have a right angle in it. So start with the bottom left. B is 42. We don't have little b. That's what we're looking for. Little a is 13 and little c is 16. The pattern tells you which you're going to use, law of sines or law of cosine. So what pattern is this one? Side angle side, and that's law of cosines. That's the really long one. You can do it though. I believe in you. All right. We're looking for little b, so that's the one it's going to start with. B squared equals, bless you. I bet if I start you on this, you might remember the rest of it. B squared equals, now you're going to take the other two numbers, so 13 squared plus 16 squared minus, does anyone remember what comes next? 2. You're going to repeat those two, so 13, 16. Cosine of 42, it's the only angle you have. Okay, now look, I know you're like gonna pick up your calculator. It's b squared. So what you have to actually type to get rid of the squared is the square root of all that. Go ahead. Square root of all that. Oh, good job. 10.763. All right, one more. Hopefully the projector will keep working for this last one. Knock on wood. I shouldn't have said that. I know, don't jinx myself. Thank you. Okay, last one, oblique triangle. Start with the bottom left. A is 72 degrees. I do not have little a. C is 20 degrees. I do not have little c. And then little b is 8. So your pattern, angle, side, angle, that's law of sine. You need a side across from an angle. The only side you have is 8, and I don't have the angle across from that, but you can get it really easily. Perfect. Okay, do 180 minus the other two. Oops, I typed that wrong. You have to type it correctly, though. 88 is what I got. Well, that's a lot of 8s. Did anyone else get 88? Okay. So when you set it up across from each other, it's going to be 8 over sine of 88. That's kind of weird, but all right. And then what's the one we're looking for? C. So it'd be C over sine of 20. Now, the way you type these ones is cross multiply and divide. You don't have to hit second because you're not looking for an angle. Okay, so what you're going to type is 8 sine of 20, close parenthesis, divided by sine of 88.